Today we're going to be making a basic chocolate chip cookie recipe. We have our ingredients ready, so we're going to start with half a cup of softened butter, half a cup of brown sugar, a quarter cup of white sugar, 1 egg, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we're going to mix that, cream that all together in one bowl. So I'm going to start here with my half a cup of softened butter, and it probably could be a little bit softer, but it'll work. And I actually didn't have butter, so I'm using margarine, unsalted margarine. Okay, so half a cup of butter, or margarine in this case, is in a bowl over here. And then the next is I'm gonna add in my half a cup of brown sugar and my quarter cup of white sugar. I'm going to start with the white sugar, so I have that measured out. So quarter cup of white sugar right in the bowl, and I need a half a cup of brown sugar, but it's pretty solid. We're trying the marshmallow trick, but we kind of just put the marshmallows in this morning, so I don't think they had any effect yet. Apparently, if you put marshmallows in with brown sugar and leave it overnight, it can kind of soften it up, but I don't think I gave it enough time. So I'm going to do the best we can with it. This was like a last-minute recipe, so we didn't plan ahead. We have to work with what we have. So I'm just going to attempt to break some off, but I don't know if we're going to be able to use it. Let's see. Okay, we're getting some. And then some of the other things that we have ready are, we have our egg, and then you're also going to need for this recipe chocolate chips, of course. Any kind is fine. And really you could add in other things if you want, but we're going to go with the classic chocolate chip. This is very, very solid. Make sure to check your brown sugar if you plan on cooking with it, because it does get really, really hard. Very strong. And you're also going to need your baking soda and some salt. Okay, so let me just finish getting this sugar ready. So I was trying to chop up the brown sugar. I think I got about a quarter of a cup, but I realized we have a newer box, but I have no idea if it's any better. It hasn't, oh, that's much better. Okay, this one hadn't been opened yet. Now we can use our brown sugar. That makes things much, much easier. So, I'm not going to need all that older stuff. So we are going to be putting in half a cup of brown sugar. I'm going to use 2 quarter cup measurements. Baking is very good math practice. Quarter cup plus a quarter cup adds up to half a cup of brown sugar. Okay, so we have 1 quarter cup here. And then, oops. I have a bowl underneath to catch the extras. And we have another quarter cup here. Okay, so now we have our butter, brown sugar, white sugar, and we need 1 egg. So it says mix the butter and the sugars together. Okay, so we're ready to do that. So we're gonna mix over here. We're going to mix together our, it's actually called creaming them together. We used to do this growing up, and it takes a little bit of effort, but you're just going to mush them together like this. And eventually, they do combine. I used to use a firmer spoon. I don't know if it would work better, but we'll try this to start. Okay, so we're creaming together the sugar and the butter. So work on that for a bit. You could see it kind of mixing and coming together. And I think that a different utensil would work better. So I'm gonna switch to the fork and see if that works. Yeah, that feels a little bit easier. It's good arm workout. So it's starting to come together, and I'm just gonna make that smoother. Okay, so this is what you get after you cream together the butter or margarine and the brown sugar and white sugar. Okay, it's like very doughy and tough. And the next thing, it says mix them together until they look smooth and creamy. So I think we have that. And the next thing we're gonna add is the egg and vanilla. It says egg and vanilla into the same bowl, and then mix until everything is combined. So here is our egg. We do it in a separate bowl. So one of the reasons is so if we get any shells in, they don't end up in our cookies. And I think we're good there. So we're gonna add our egg. I actually don't have any vanilla, so I'm gonna try a little bit of vanilla ice cream in there instead. Hopefully it doesn't mess the whole thing up. Okay, so here's our vanilla ice cream. And it was supposed to be 1 teaspoon, so I guess I'll kind of do that. This is half a teaspoon. So 1/2 plus 1/2-ish equals a teaspoon. Okay, so we are supposed to mix it again until everything is combined. So let's do that. I think our ice cream will mix and melt pretty quickly. So of course, ideally you would just put that vanilla extract in. And I know growing up we used to mix the vanilla extract in with the egg and scramble it together before dumping it into the cookie mixture. Just gonna mix. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to be doing is adding 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Just trying to mix the rest of that in before we add the flour in. So we don't want one cookie to have like all of the vanilla and another cookie to have none. So I'm just going to incorporate that. So now, this is what it looks like. And I'm going to add my flour. So 1 1/4 cup of flour. So 1 cup. And I'm going to start with that, and then I need a 1/4 cup. Oh, right, I used it for my sugar. So here's my 1/4 cup. I'm just going to use the thing to scoop it out so I don't get sugar in my flour. Okay, so 1/4 cup. So 1 1/4 cup of flour. We're going to mix that in. It takes a little while to mix. And the next thing we're going to put in is half a teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda. Now, my half teaspoon went into the ice cream, so I'm going to use 2/4 teaspoons, 1/4 teaspoons. So, and don't mix up baking soda and baking powder. So that's 1. And it's so white. And, okay. 2. Okay, so, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Salt. I'm going to pour it over something else just in case too much comes out, because I don't want my cookies too salty. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to mix all of that until the flour disappears and until it turns into cookie dough. Do not mix way too long. Just mix it until it looks good. Okay, so now we're just mixing it in like that. And in a minute I'll show you what it's going to look like. So just keep mixing. Okay, so now I have cookie dough in here, and the last step is to just add the chocolate chips. So it says add 1 cup of chocolate chips, and you can really use any kind. You can use more, you can use less, and you're just gonna measure out 1 cup. Now, if you were making, oh, that's a lot of chocolate chips for these cookies, but okay. If you were making a cake, instead of just putting the, oh, that's a really lot of chocolate chips. Instead of just pouring the chocolate chips in directly, there's a trick to coat them in a little bit of flour first so that they don't sink in the cake. But I feel like these are going to be chocolate with a little bit of cookie mixed in instead of chocolate chip cookies, but okay, they'll still taste good. That's what we get for finding recipe on ChatGPT. So if you're making a cake, you want to coat them in flour first so that they don't sink to the bottom of the cake. But for cookies, like as you can see, like they're not going anywhere. It's very sticky and very thick. So we do not need to worry about that. Okay, the last step of making cookies is going to be just scooping out the cookies onto a tray. So I forgot to have that prepared, so be back in a minute with the tray and the scooper, and we already have our oven preheated to 350 degrees. Okay, so I'm supposed to use parchment paper, but I don't have any, so I just have a pan covered in foil. I'm also supposed to use about a tablespoon, but again, don't have any clean ones. So we're just gonna kind of guesstimate for, it's okay, cookies can really come out any size, so they'll probably be a little bit big, but that's okay. Now, when they cook and the like butter and everything like melts, they're gonna spread out. So you always want to leave space between your cookies because they're gonna spread out. I honestly have not made chocolate chip cookies in a very long time, so I don't remember how much, but you know, they'll spread out. They're also very sticky. It's gonna get all over your hands, but it's fun for kids to do. So this is always a fun part. Even if your kids didn't help you make it, they can help you put it on a tray. But today I'm just doing it on my own. So far we have 4, and I am using one of those trays that has like a layer of like air in between the like 2 layers of metal, and that, hi Minnie, meow. My cat is meowing at me. Apparently she wants some cookies, and that is supposed to be like a layer of insulation to prevent the cookies from burning. We have we have almost 12 cookies down, and I feel like I kind of want to put them a little closer together, but we'll see. You can also turn this just into a cookie bar, and then you don't have to then you don't have to space out the cookies like this. It's a little bit faster, so if you're in a rush, you can always put this into a pan and then just press it down, and it helps if you kind of wet the spoon or your hand when you're pushing it down. It makes it smooth, spreads it out, and then, you know, it's just a little bit faster. I don't remember if it affects the cooking time. It probably does, but, you know, we're going to go for cookies here. So I was able to get 16, 4x4, 16 cookies onto this tray. And then I'm going to get another tray done, and then we'll pop them in the oven. Okay, so now we have our tray of 16, and then we also have all of these. These might stick together, we'll see. And now I'm going to put them in my 350-degree oven for 9 to 12 minutes. And we'll know that they're done when the edges look slightly golden, the middle looks a little soft, because then they harden after you take them out. And when you start to like smell that cookie smell, that's actually a sign that they're just about done. So I'm going to go put these in the oven. Okay, now you might notice that our oven says 355. That's because our oven is not very accurate with temperature, so our guess is that 350 is actually 355 in our oven. Honestly, we might even need it to be higher, but we'll give this a try because I don't want to burn the cookies. Underbaked cookies are better than overbaked cookies. Okay, so our cookies are in the oven. Okay, and I'm going to close it. We're going to set the timer for 9 minutes so that we can check on them in 9 minutes because, again, I have no idea how long it's going to take, and we'll see how they do. Okay, so our bottom rack of cookies looks done. I have no idea how long they've been in, and the top rack needs a little bit more time, so I'm going to leave those in, and I'm going to let these cool for a minute before I try scraping them off of the foil, but they look good. And they smell good too. They smell like chocolate chip cookies, so we'll see how they taste. Okay, so our second tray of cookies definitely looks ready. They are a nice golden brown on top. Don't touch, it's hot. They're a nice, they're not burnt on the bottom. And of course, I'm using oven mitts, and I'm an adult taking it out. This is something for an adult to do. Okay, kids, make sure you have an adult or like high school sibling or person, or probably even 8th grade, but you know, helping out. And we're gonna let them cool. And where did my spatula go? Where did my spatula? Oh, I see it. And we're just gonna like loosen them a little bit while they're still soft. So like very gently kind of, we're not gonna like put them anywhere, but we're just gonna get them off the foil. And see, foil worked fine. Even though I didn't have parchment paper, the foil worked just fine. They're coming right off. They have a lot of that margarine in them, so, or butter, so, you know, you don't have to put oil on the foil or anything. And notice how they spread out, just like we said they would. Okay, that one might be a little bit undercooked.
But that's okay. Even if you mess up one cookie, it's just one cookie.
But look at all those chocolate chips. I mean, that's a lot of chocolate chips. And the cool thing is that when they sit out, I don't know if it's cool or not cool, but when they sit out, they get harder. So we're going to let them sit out. And even though they might look too soft right now, they're gonna harden up into crunchy chocolate chip cookies. Oh, look how nice and round. That's like a perfect circle, almost, that one. Okay. So, should we taste one?
And this is how it looks like on the inside. Doesn't it look so yummy?
Okay, and we are ready to taste. It's cool enough, so let's see how it is.
It's very yummy.
There's a little bit of a crunch, and the rest is soft. You can definitely taste the like brown sugar.
Yeah, it's very sugary.
It's very sugary, and like the outside is nice and crunchy, and the inside is nice and soft, and the chocolate chips are all melty.
Yeah.
Classic chocolate chip cookies. Almost like the Entenmann's ones.
And that is today's episode of Baking with Noam and Batya. See you for next week.